Hello, 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 hello. Yeah. Just to make sure that we are live. Yes, we are live. And now I'm testing everything. If you join us and you can hear me, just say hi in the chat so that I know that you can hear me. We're going to start shortly. Okay. Sure. All right. Hello, Kennedy. I can see you. Great, great, great. All right, so we're going to start shortly. Let me just send a message around to the group and we'll get started. But if you join in, one other thing I want to know where you're joining us from, kindly drop that in the chat as well. Where are you joining us from? Drop that in the chat as well. Where are you joining us from? Let me know in the chats quickly as I send the message across, then we get started. Um, all right. Hi, Irene. Yeah, I remember Irene. Oh, no. Hold on. Kennedy as well. So it's been a while since I came live. The logistics, I'm still trying to figure out some of the logistics right now. And because I'm using a new setup as well. So pardon me, but let's get started. I wanted to share the message across. So if you're just joining in, you're highly welcome to Digital School. It's been a while. I think 2025 we haven't done any Digital School session. So I'm super, super excited, super pumped for this particular session. I hope that whatsoever expectation that you came with, you would not find anything short of your expectation. So go ahead and comment. Let me see you in the chat. Everyone that is joining, who are you and where are you joining us from? Hello, Gifty. Welcome. My Ghanaian folks are here. That is great. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Let me know in the chats who you are and where you're joining us from. Where are you joining us from? Okay. All right, great. Hello, Bismarck. Yeah. Irene says I remember you. Good, 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 good. All right. This is great, and I'm super excited to be back with another session. Just by way of introduction, Digital School is this series of sessions that I started back in 2020. The first session that we had was in October 2020. And my goal is to help people like yourself, master various digital skills. And I love learning new things and I love teaching. So when I learn these things, I want to be able to teach people. Unfortunately, life gets busy sometimes. So in the past couple of months, I haven't gotten time to do any such session. But I've had a number of people reach out to me via my WhatsApp DM asking for sessions, especially because now we have a lot of digital skills coming up, a lot of things about artificial intelligence, people wanting to know. And not to brag, but the one thing that I know and I believe that I do very well in is breaking down the complex things for everyone to understand. So my goal today is we're starting this four sessions. So there's going to be four different sessions every Saturday in July, the month of July that we're in, this being the very first, we're going to have a session. And a session would always be around the same time. It is now 4 p.m. GMT or 12 p.m. EST. Depending on the time zone that you are in, you have to convert it to your specific time zone. But in this four-part series, my goal is to take you from an absolute beginner. So I'm not going to make any assumptions that you know anything about AI, right? We're going to take it from the ground up and build on top of it until our last session, where we're going to look at how can I leverage these AI things that you are talking about, all these plenty things. How can I leverage this to build a business or to help me in my work? All right. So what we're going to start from the bare minimum, what artificial intelligence is and everything in between that. So how do I build something meaningful with artificial intelligence, or how do I make something meaningful out of artificial intelligence or any skills around it? So let me know in the chat, and I can see Fidas Fidas welcome. So let me know in the chat. I've seen some of you who have already introduced yourself and where you're coming from or joining us from. Kindly, if you're here, I can see a lot more people than the people in the chat. So if you're here, drop in the chat. I really want to know you. I really want to connect with you. So drop in the chat. Show as you have showed up, be seen. Okay. So drop in the chat your name and where you are joining us from. Let's start from there. Let's break the ground from there. Your name and where you're joining us from. The interesting thing is that now we have a mixed audience. We have people from North America and people from Africa. So it will be a great opportunity to connect with people as well. So look forward to, all right, somebody Faustina from UK. Great. So Emmanuel Edu, I remember the name. Yes, I think so. From KNUST, great. All right, Mombasa. Because I never knew you were in Mombasa. All right. Okay, so UK is represented as well. That's great. So we have people from North America, Europe, and Africa. So far, that's what I've seen. Evans Atta, great to have you on the stream. Okay, so today, what exactly are we going to do? The first episode of Digital School July edition, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and we're going to demystify it. A lot of people reach out. In fact, I've heard people reach out who are like, hey, I've been hearing about AI. What is it? Like, tell me more about AI. And recently, I published something on LinkedIn where I talked about how our brains filter off things that we feel is too easy. So, even the definition of what AI is or this skill set around it, sometimes I sit down and I feel that this is too simple. Like, imagine thinking about what to come and teach in these sessions, some of the thoughts that ran through my head is, why would somebody want to know about AI? Like everybody out there knows about AI. All right. So the things that usually come to you easily, it feels as if everybody knows it. So it is usually difficult for you, for me as an individual, to settle on what to come and teach. I think I'd say one of the major reasons why I hardly come and do sessions is that, like, sometimes I feel that this is too basic. Like everybody knows this thing. All right. Everybody knows this. Hi, Linda. Linda from Nigeria. That's my colleague. Hello, Linda. Yeah, so just as I'm saying, it becomes very difficult to know what people want, what people don't know. But now I've come to understand that the fact that it comes easy to you, the fact that you understand these things, doesn't necessarily mean that it is easy for everybody. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody else knows it as well. So today, I do not know what your level of experience is with artificial intelligence, but maybe, out of curiosity, let me know if we were to categorize the level of experience with artificial intelligence into, say, three. We have absolute beginner. We have, oh, I have been playing with it, as option two. Option one is, I don't know anything about it. Okay, let's do it that way. Option one, I don't know anything about it, so I want to learn everything about it. Option two, I've heard about it, I've been learning about it, but I'm not too sure about what it is, or I have not had experience with it. That's option two. Option three, I know about it, I have experience, but I want to learn more. Which of these categories do you fall in? In the chat, let me know in the chat. Which of these categories do you fall in? One, two, or three? So if you fall in one, just type in the chat one. If you fall in two, say two or three. The reason I'm doing this is it will give me a fair idea of where to go, where to spend more time on, and where not to. Okay, so I've seen three, I've seen two, I've seen three. All right, everyone, let's go. Two. So option one is, I don't know much about it. Like, I've probably heard it, but I don't know it at all. Option two is, yes, I know it. I've learned a thing or two about it, but I don't know much. I really want to know more. Then option three is, yes, I understand what AI is. I'm familiar with it, but I want more. Okay. So I can see a lot of twos. I've seen some threes as well. So far, no one. Okay, great. Linda, Jimo, Mohammed. The rest of you, I'm waiting on you so that I know exactly how to direct this course. All right. So I can see that majority that have put in the chat are in option two, which is great. It's great. What it tells me is that, and the rest of you who I'm seeing are in option three. So what it tells me right now is that most of you are aware of what artificial intelligence is already, which is great. Now, what you want is, what else? Like, apart from knowing what artificial intelligence is, what are the advantages to me, or what more can I learn? And there are some of you who are okay with it, you've been playing with it, and now you want to even upskill the more in it. All right. So that is good to know. That's what we're going to do throughout this session. We're going to dive deep into various artificial intelligence skills and tools. All right. But to begin with, what I am going to do right now is to try and water the ground to make sure that we have a good ground to begin the series on. There are a lot of terminologies that come up as we go that I'd want to make sure that by the time we get there, when they become relevant enough, you understand these things. So even before we go, I can see a few names that I am very familiar with, but there are some names as well that I'm not familiar with. So I'm guessing that not everyone knows me as an individual. So let me just do the honors of introducing myself. Who am I, and why should you listen to me? You are on this stream. Why should you even bother to listen to me? Who is this chap that is claiming whatever? Why should I listen to him? All right. So I am Ehonia Obed, as you have seen. Maybe let me remove this banner. And All right. Hi, this. Yes. So I am Ewonia Obed. I trained as a pharmacist. I work as a software engineer. And in about 10 years ago, somewhere in 2013, it's even more than 10 years now, 2013, 2014, I taught myself programming. And yeah, it was hard. Everybody knows. Everybody said it. Really difficult. What made it even more challenging was around that same time I was in pharmacy school. So combining learning programming with pharmacy school wasn't the easiest of things. Along the line, I finished school. I upskilled in various skills, digital skills. I practiced a lot of these. And even now, with artificial intelligence, you know, I wrote an article in 2019, and you can find this. The reason why I love the internet is because, as they say, the internet never forgets. So if I come here and I lie, you would go and find out. In 2019, I wrote an article on the internet. Maybe we should find it just to give proof of what I'm saying. In 2019, let me present this way. Okay, let's go to Medium where I have my, sorry, let's find Honia Obed. It was my first blog post on Medium in 2019. That's when I discovered artificial intelligence. And I really wanted to learn this. I wrote, oh, is there a way to search on Medium? Come on. There should be a way to search. Okay, let's do this. Google. I don't even know how to find it. Honia Obed artificial intelligence. Then say Medium. Let me see if it brings that out. No. Yes, this is it. December 15, 2019. Oh, I wrote it on my blog. Okay. So it was on my blog. I think I published it on Medium as well. But it's on my blog. As you can see, this is December 5th, 2019. So December 5th, 2019, I think I was doing my final year of pharmacy school in the hospital. Yeah, if I remember correctly, that's where I was. And I discovered this. I started learning about data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and this is what I wrote here. And the advice that I gave down here, the buzz about artificial intelligence and machine learning is rare. And I believe the quicker we embrace it, the better for us all. If you're a young person with any sort of interest in programming, technology, or computing, then I think you should keep a close eye on AI, or better still, start learning it. I'm not the only young blah, blah, blah. But this is to prove to you that I've had an eye on the field for some time now. But even within that period, within from 2019 to 2022, I didn't really do much. Like I started learning something about machine learning and all, but life gets busy and you forget about these things. So I forgot about them. But when the ChatGPT era came, so ChatGPT was released around, does anybody know? Around 20, I think 29th of November 2022. That very week, the first week of December, was when I started using ChatGPT. And now, in the past couple of months, years, like the past 2, 3 years, almost any new tool, especially the ones that we're going to talk about, immediately they are released. I am on it. These to me right now, and Kennedy is here, we say these are toys that we play with. So I'm like that young chap that is finding new toys every day and trying to play with the toys. So that is why I feel confident enough to host a session like this, to come and explain these things to you and break them down for you so that you can also take advantage of it. So You are going to learn from my own personal experiences. This is not something that I've gone to read somewhere and I'm coming to regurgitate for you. No, it is something that I use daily. And right now, as a software engineer, I build tools leveraging AI, using AI enabled, like building AI enabled products. And I would be sharing my experiences throughout this series. Okay, so let's get started with the bare minimum, like the basics of everything. So today we'll talk about what AI actually is versus the hype. Like a lot of things that you're hearing right now is just hype, hype, hype. But what is it really? Then some terminologies. I think that's where I would lay more emphasis on the terminology so that subsequently, when we begin to do the practical ones and I begin to introduce you to the tools, you would appreciate everything that I say about this. Okay. Then some tools. I might not do a lot of the tools today because next session we're going to do a deep dive into the tools and how to use them. But I may end up mentioning some of the tools that you can start exploring from today. Then give you reasons to why you need to get started now. All right. So, and I'll have a special announcement at the end. Forgive my PowerPoint. What is AI? What is AI? So, artificial intelligence, as you have heard, artificial intelligence. Humans, we boast in our abilities. What separate us from animals? You know, if you did any biology at all, you know that the classification of organisms, we have what they call the species. Okay, and let me not even bore you, but what we boast about is that we are intelligent. That's what makes us different from animals. Okay, people will argue about humans and apes. Are we from the same whatever, whatever? Okay, but essentially our ability to reason things, the intelligence that we have, is what sets us apart from every other thing in the world. It's because you can reason and take action. Listen to that. You can reason and take action. So intelligence is your ability to reason and take action. Now, what we are doing is that, hey, we as humans, we want things to augment the work that we do. We want to make life easy for us. That's all what humans want. All what we have ever wanted is to make life easier for us. So this thing that makes us intelligent, or this thing that makes us unique, that enables us to do all these things. What if we can pass on that skill or that ability to other things so that they can assist us without us having to do the hard work? So we now begin to look into these devices, computers, the various gadgets that we see. Is there a way to add intelligence, ability to reason and act on their own accord to them so that they can assist us in the things that we are doing? So artificial intelligence is essentially just giving computer systems the ability to perform tasks that actually requires human intelligence. So prior to the advent of artificial intelligence, if you say write an essay, you know that it is only a human being that can write an essay. The computer on its own cannot write an essay, even if you give it a topic. This is prior to artificial intelligence. So what we have done is that we know that humans are able to reason and write, reason and act. So we have granted that ability to some artificial things, and that's all that we're calling as artificial intelligence. So any computer system that is able to perform actions that originally required human intelligence will be termed as artificial intelligence. And in fact, this artificial intelligence is just, I mean, on if you ask yourself, when I say that I have learned a thing, okay, as a human, if you say you have learned something, what does it really mean? It means that now you have become familiar with the thing, you are able to recognize it. If there is any pattern, you are able to identify the pattern such that subsequently you can apply that pattern on any other thing. Okay, so in mathematics, for instance, when you started school, your primary one or basic one tutor taught you that when you want to add things, if I teach you one, if you see 1 plus 1, it is equal to 2. And the reason why it is equal to 2 is that when you add this one to that one, you have two things. You came to understand that. And now they ask you, so what if you had 2 and you wanted to add 1 to it? Because you have been able to recognize that pattern before, that, oh, I bring this one together with this, then I count them. Now, the same thing is what you're going to do, because they are now asking you, what is 2 plus 1? So you take the 2 items and you add the extra one, and that becomes 3. So you know, and you say, I know it. I have that knowledge. So artificial intelligence, essentially, these computers are beginning to recognize these patterns, and based on the patterns, they take particular actions or do things. Okay, so that is essentially what artificial intelligence is. Don't be confused. The intelligence that humans have, the AI tools that we have right now, might not necessarily compare to our level of intelligence, might not necessarily. Today, I have to be very, very cautious about my choice of words. But I said might not necessarily have the same level of intelligence, but at least they have some sort of intelligence. A table on its own has no intelligence. Okay? I mean, animals, I would say animals have some sort of intelligence, because they are able to process things and act based on their own understanding of it. The difference is that they don't have the level of intelligence that humans have. So at this point in time, artificial intelligence is some level of intelligence, maybe not as much as the human has. But when you say AI, it is different from AGI. And AGI is usually what most people talk about and most people are scared about. And we'll look at it when we get to the terminology. So don't worry about it now. Artificial intelligence is not going to replace all jobs overnight. It's not like we sleep today and tomorrow we wake up and AI has taken over everything. It's not like that. But it might happen in future. So the reason why we have to have a session like this to start talking about it, so that we all get prepared. And AI is not only for tech experts. So some people are beginning to say, oh, it's for those tech people. Me, I'm not techie. I'm not that type of person. I don't like these digital things. And we're going to explain why you need it. It's not for tech people alone. And AI is not magic. That one you should know. There is a logic behind it. Some real world AI applications that you are currently using. So you are on YouTube right now watching this stream. If you check whether it is phone or computer that you're using, somewhere YouTube have some recommendations that they are giving you. And that is artificial intelligence in action. And the YouTube algorithm, it's so powerful. In fact, Netflix is also such an example, such that it knows exactly what you like, exactly what you would like, because it has studied you over time. And I told you that intelligence is you being able to recognize these patterns and taking actions based on your knowledge of those patterns. So it has studied you over time. When you created your YouTube account for the first time, it didn't know anything about you. Then randomly showed you some videos. You clicked on some, you didn't click on some. You also came in to search for some videos. So it's understanding, what does this person like? Based on all these things that you like, it begins to now recommend things for you. So the AI is learning from your activities. It's identifying the patterns between your activities and making prediction on what you would like. So you have been using artificial intelligence even on YouTube. So don't think that it is far from us or it's ChatGPT. No, there are a host of things that you've been using that are AI enabled. Examples, even Google search. that you've been using every time. And now they are making it very obvious. We are adding the chatbot part into Google search. But the recommendation engine behind this is also artificial intelligence enabled. Smartphone cameras. Now, with some powerful smartphones, you can literally navigate your way around a city that you have no idea of. And it's going to show you live everywhere where you are going, where you're supposed to go, like as if a human being is helping you navigate. So the AI is what is enabling this, and many more examples. So let's delve more into the terminologies. And just as I said, these are the very important things. We're going to discuss all these terminologies so that subsequently, when we begin talking about the tools, you understand every one of these when it is used. The first thing is, what is machine learning? Machine learning, as in the word, machine is learning. Okay, so essentially, if we make a computer to begin to learn, we make a computer to learn something. That is essentially what machine learning is. It has different aspects of the learning. It has aspect of learning where we explicitly tell it that when you see this, it is this. When you see that, it is that. There are also some aspect of machine learning where you give it the data and the machine has to figure it out itself. Don't get confused about it. So anytime you hear machine learning, it's just making a computer or a machine learn something. However you make it learn, there are several methods to that, and that is not what we would worry our heads around right now. Then when you say AI models, this is a terminology that is thrown around a lot. What is AI models? The model that you refer, and if I start going into the details, you would hear me say it a lot. The model, the model. So if you sit in conversations where people are talking about AI, that's one of the things that you keep hearing. The model is this. This model is better than that model. So what is the model? Essentially, the model is like the brain. So we train these computers and give them intelligence. But where does the intelligence reside? You as a human, your intelligence resides in the brain. Your brain is that powerhouse that enables you to have intelligence. So if your brain dies, and there's a thing like that, usually they begin to call you the health professionals in the chat. If your brain dies, how do they refer to you? A human being whose brain is dead. Usually they refer to that person as a vegetable. And it's sad to hear, but yes, they refer to the person as a vegetable. So your brain is that powerhouse that houses your intelligence. When we come to artificial intelligence, if we refer to the model is that thing that sort of acts as the brain. It is the powerhouse that is holding the knowledge of the AI. And big examples that you might hear of, you've heard of GPT-4, which is what powers the chatbot called ChatGPT. So ChatGPT uses the GPT models. Okay, so if I say GPT model, the model has a special way of being trained, and we'll learn a thing or two soon. But the model has they have various approaches they use to train the models. Okay, GPT is one of the approaches, and now by the model is being developed, GPT-4, GPT 3.5, and various versions are being developed by a company called OpenAI. So they own that model. Google as well has their own model. They call it Gemini. And the model, depending on the type of data that it was trained on, will do particular actions. So in these examples that you've seen, we have like the test type of models. We have images. So a model that was trained based on images has knowledge and understanding of the images. So that becomes an image model. All right. Then speech, that's also an example. So then E and Whisper. Whisper is for speech, and hopefully we'll explore various models soon. Large language models. So now you know what a model is. It is that brain that holds the knowledge. What is a large language model? Essentially, language. It is speaking the language. Language is a means of communication, right? So between us as humans, we communicate in various languages. Now we are communicating in English, and I've seen. All right. Oh, that's Dr. Nicholas. Hi, Doc. Yeah. So Dr. Nicholas has also mentioned it in the vegetable. The first time I heard it was really sad to hear referring to a human being as a vegetable. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. So the large language models, the language is just a medium of communication, and we are communicating a particular language right now. I believe that almost everyone on the call would know like one, probably another language or several other languages apart from the language that we're using right now. Okay. So if you train a model such that it begins to speak out things in a particular language, but then we have small language models. Those ones speak out like small chunks of text. Okay. So for instance, when you take, let's take autocorrect, and by now I want to assume that majority of you have experience with autocorrect on your phones. You know, when you want to type something and the phone automatically corrects it. So I mean, the strategy or the underlying technology is there. We don't want to go deep into it, but essentially we have small language models that spew out a few words. Okay. The large language models, we would say, if they were speaking, you say they have verbal diarrhea. You ask them one question, they start talking for hours, unless you regulate them. Okay, so they are able to spew out a lot of things, so they can understand and generate human-like conversations or tests. All right, then we have generative AI. So generative AI, LLMs, models, machine learning, these are technologies that you need to understand. If you say generates, it means that it can create things. So generative AI is just any AI that can create things for us. So it creates new content like text. If you ask it to write an email for you, if you ask it to generate an image or write some code for you or generate some lyrics or even sing the song for you, generates music for you, that will be termed as generative AI. How are we doing? I hope you get these technologies because we are going to another level of technologies that you need to know. So let me know in the chat. How are we going? Are you ready to power on next set of technologies? Yes, yes, or no, no. Let me know in the chat. I like to see feedback when I have sessions like this. So, how are you faring? All right, great, great. Okay, so let's take the next set of. All right, Emmanuel. The next set of terminologies that every one of us must know, and trust me, these are not for techies. This is not for people who are just digital or technology or software engineers, data scientists. No, these are technologies that eventually will become part of the lingo. And I'll show you an example when internet became a thing or was becoming a thing. A lot of the perception that we currently have about AI is similar to what people had back then. Okay. And now, when you talk about social media, everybody understands what it is. When you talk about the internet, you begin to talk about these technologies as if, oh, they are common, like they are household names that every one of us understand. Okay. But they didn't used to be the thing. If you say search engine, almost anybody at all now understands what search engine is. They don't have to be techie. So eventually, we're going to get to that point where these technologies become the norm and everybody knows them. So you have to take the first step in knowing these things. That is why I say these are must knows. The next term is prompt engineering. And this term became a huge term right from, I think, early 2023, prompt engineering. So the AI chatbot, which became the sensation or is still the sensation now, allows us to chat with the AI model. So these are just chat interface. The same way you go and chat with your friends. You go to, say, Facebook or WhatsApp or Messenger, Instagram. You go into the DMs and you chat with your friends. That's how we have been interacting nowadays. Somebody say, "Oh, I sent you a DM. I check your DM. I sent you something," right? That is how the conversation is going on. So people who are building these tools realize that we have these intelligent agents, the model that we have built. How can we make it useful for humans to interact with? Let's build a chatbot. What that will do is that just like they will go and chat to their friends and ask, if you are looking for information, you go into Obed's DM and say, "Hey Obed, can you explain this thing to me?" So now let's put this artificial agent that has some knowledge into an interface like that so that humans can easily ask them. But the act of asking the artificial intelligence model questions and getting the right sort of answers from it is what we know as prompt engineering. So prompt is that information that you give to the chatbot to get some response, or any AI model. The way you communicate with the AI model is you give it a prompt and it takes an action. So it's like telling me to do something. When you give me that information, I'll proceed to go do it. But this time around, it's an artificial intelligence that you are giving the prompt to. So the reason why the word prompt engineering becomes important is because the AI is not human in the first place. The AI has some limitations as it stands now compared to human intelligence. And the reason I would say this is, for humans, now we have how many senses? 5 senses. If you're a Superman or a Superwoman, then maybe you have more than 5 senses. But we have 5 senses that we use. So sometimes we are able to even see beyond what is being told. Like they tell you this, but you are seeing what is being said, right? Or you feel it, or you can smell it. So even if they say, "Oh, nothing is burning," but then you can smell the smoke around, you know that something is burning. Unfortunately for the AI, it doesn't have all these senses. So you, the human who are communicating with the AI, have to come up with a prompt that illustrates exactly what you want. Like you have to speak its language. You have to talk in a way that it understands. So the process of crafting your prompt such that the AI will give you the best outcome is what we know as prompt engineering. And we'll do a few prompt engineering subsequently when we start looking into the tools. So please pay attention to it. Now, it is one of the most important skills. In this day and age, typing, for instance, is a very key skill. Those of you on the session right now, I want to believe that at least 95% of you, every single day, you type something. It's either you're typing on your phone or on a computer. It is a very important skill. But mind you, there was a time where nobody really cared about typing because everybody wrote on sheet of papers. Now, if I'm going to write an exams and they give me a sheet of paper to write the exams, I can't even imagine. If I go to class right now and a professor gives me an assignment and asks me to go and write it in my hand, I feel like it is punishment. It is punishment. But several years ago, if they asked you to go and use a computer to type your assignment, you would rather see that as punishment. Maybe not in our time, but the people who were students back in the early 90s or 80s, they would be able to share such experience with you, how it felt as a punishment for you to ask them to type. I'm pretty sure our parents and grandparents have such experiences, so you can talk to them. In the same way, Prompt engineering is going to become that one thing that almost every one of us would have to use. And it will not necessarily mean typing the prompts. New modalities are coming up. So, for instance, it's going to get to a point where we would rather want to just talk to the chatbot or the AI than type. So, the skill here is not the ability to type the thing. The skill here is your ability to craft the prompt to get the best of result from the AI. A typical example that I use is if they gave you the boots of players like Messi or Ronaldo, the fact that you have their boots does not necessarily mean that you play like them. Even though that's the same boots they used to play and get that kind of result. But if they gave it to you, it doesn't mean you'll be able to play like them. Another example is if you gave, say right now, if you gave a computer or internet access to all of us on this call, and you asked us to use it to do something, there are some people who are well versed in it who will do way better. A typical example, even in my own life, when I was introduced to computers, I had friends who could type like 42 words per minute. Those times, those were the things that we used to compete about. I thought I was good at typing, but I was typing around 18 words per minute. And somebody was typing over 42 words per minute. So even with the same devices, we will get different results. It's the same thing. Everybody can prompt, everybody can talk to the AI. But if you master prompt engineering, you get to the point where you can get the best result from the AI, and people around you may not necessarily compete with you just because of that knowledge that you have. What are AI workflows? If you ask the AI to do something, right now you essentially say, tell me a story. Then it tells you the story. Then you go ahead and say, now convert the story into this. Then it does it for you. You tell it what next to do. Okay. AI workflows are where you are able to orchestrate those activities so that the AI does them sequentially. So, hey, AI, I've been given an assignment. Let's say I want to create an AI workflow for doing my assignment. The first thing is maybe this AI workflow is going to have, say, 4 steps. Okay, that's sequence, 4 steps. The first thing you need to do is I'll give you the question. I want you to go to the internet. So, one, go to the internet and search for resources or references for this work. Step 2, once you have gathered all those references, I want you to tease out the necessary information for me to solve this task and write the solution for me. Step 3, once you have completed it, I want you to send an email to my professor with the solution. So in this case, I have an AI workflow. The AI is taking these steps, but I have predefined the steps. So it's just following the steps. The AI is doing stuff, but it's following the steps that I have predefined. And sometimes it may even request that I give it approval to do certain things. Okay, then we have AI agents. And in fact, in 2025, they say 2025 is the age of agents. Humans, we have agency. We have human agents for various things, okay? But now we are coming up with AI agents. And essentially what the AI agent is making an AI autonomous such that it does things on its own. You tell it what you want. You don't tell it exactly how it should do it. And it will go out there and do it. So when the difference between the workflow and the agent is that in the workflow, I define the steps that it should take to get the work done. So I'm telling it what to do. When you talk about the agent, this is autonomous. All that I have to do is to tell it, hey, I want this done. Then it would figure out, so what tools do I need? So it was like a human, assuming that I hired an agency to work with me and I gave them a task. This agency, maybe their task is for business registration. Okay, I want to register a business, so I've hired an agency that will handle that for me. That agent will take all the actions. They would have to figure out what kind of business do I want, where am I going to register it, then what are the requirements, what documents do I need, all of these things. I don't have to tell them. They have to find out. And if they ever needed something from me, they will come and ask me. So that is what an AI agent is. And this year, a lot of them are coming up. And now it's even way easier to build an agent. And if you follow this series, you are going to eventually learn, how do I build my own agent with just a prompt, something that you're going to learn along the line. So I would bet that you don't miss any of the sessions. I won't tell you when we will do that, so don't miss any of the sessions. Then another thing I want you to know is meta prompts. Meta prompts are essentially prompts that you will craft. Like, you come up with a framework that enables you to create prompts to use. I've told you that prompt engineering is very important, and I've spent a lot of time explaining it, why it's important. So having your own set of meta prompts is also essential, so that I have this prompt that I have kept. It enables me to generate other prompts anytime I need it. So I keep a repository of those meta prompts, and based on what I need, I just go and copy it. Now it has not become a thing, only few people are using meta prompts. But if you really want to take advantage of artificial intelligence, this is one of the things that you need to begin to do. Create your own set of templates that works for your situation. This is my workflow. This is what works best for me. So I'll keep this. Anytime I need to do something like this, this is what I use. And along the line, I'll be teaching you some of the ones that I personally use. Okay, a few more terminologies. Multimodal AI. So we talked about AI, the model. Okay, when we say multimodal, what does it mean? Initially, I explained humans, we have 5 senses, and it helps us a lot. It helps us add meaning to things. The AI that is being built, initially it had just one modal, like one modality. It was just tests when it started off. Then they saw, oh, if we train this with tests, it's able to understand and generate tests. Can we then train the AI with images so that it can also understand images? It's like, initially we gave it this test. Now let's add the ability for the AI to see. So let's train it with images. So it is a new sense that has been given to it. It was trained on images. Oh, can we train it on the sense of hearing? Audio. Let's add audio. Let's add video. Video is now being able to combine the seeing with the hearing, because humans, we are able to decode that. I'm seeing something, I'm hearing something, I can decode them together, right? So this modalities, like introducing these new senses into the AI, gives us the multimodal AI. So if you have an AI model that is able to take in tests, spew out tests, take in images, spew out images, take in audio, take in video, generate some of these things, then you say they are multimodal. Proprietary versus open source. That's also one of the things that we need to know. But some of the models that we are going to be using are proprietary. What it means is that they are owned by certain companies. They are closed source. That's another name for them. It is only those companies that have access to it, and they grant you access you pay to get access to it. And nobody has access to the code behind it or the training data. Everything that makes that model work the way it works is hidden from everyone else outside of that company. That is proprietary. Then we have open source. The open source models are models that are made available such that anybody at all in the world can have access to them. You can see the code that makes up the model, and you can use it. You can download it and even set it up on your own computer and use. Those are the open source models. The proprietary ones are usually very easy to use, but not so much the open source ones. Also, the proprietary ones do not allow you to customize it. The way they give you is how you use it. But open source ones allows you to customize. You can go and edit things, you can go and change things if you know how to. Okay. Another important thing to know, memory. We as humans, in fact, back in pharmacy school, first year, there is something that I learned. Now I don't believe in it any longer. But in pharmacy school, I used to say that knowledge is remembrance. If you don't remember, you don't know. That is something, a philosophy I worked with throughout pharmacy school. Life has taught me otherwise right now. So I wouldn't necessarily define knowledge as such. Knowledge is remembrance. The reason I said that was because there were times that we'll go. We usually, and I saw Linda here. Linda was my classmate, so she can relate. When back then we used to do what we call posology. You would memorize the medications, the names, their usage, side effect, things like that. And every morning that you went to that lab, you would be asked questions. You needed to remember from memory. You need to remember, if we mention this name, this drug, what is its dose? You need to remember. If you don't remember, you don't know. Okay. And trust you, you would have spent several hours the night before learning all these things, and you go to posology lab and they ask you and you don't remember. So that's how I rate that philosophy, that knowledge is remembrance. If you don't remember, you don't know. But now I disagree, because there are times that you don't remember. There are a lot of things that I don't remember right now, but it doesn't mean I don't know. I know exactly where to find them. I can find them and leverage them or use them for anything that I want to do. So I no longer buy into that. But that brings us to the concept of memory. If the AI can understand things but doesn't have any memory, then it's not very helpful. And those of you who work in hospitals as well, you might have come across patients that have amnesia. Not so patients that easily forget things. Let's put it that way. It's not easy working with such people. A patient who doesn't even remember their name, doesn't remember where they are. It's not easy at all. Every single day you have to come and explain. They have understanding, but they don't remember. So every single time you have to come and explain things to them. That experience is not fun. So it's the same thing. The AI can be frustrating if you can't remember anything. So the people who are building these things thought about it. One of the ways to make it very useful is to give it memory. How can we let it remember the conversation it had? Humans, if I met you some time back, we had a conversation. I probably remember that conversation. And because of that, when I know you, when I see you again, I would be able to relate with you based on those conversations that we've had in the past. But if I don't have any memory, you yourself, you wouldn't like to meet me, because you meet me again every single time, we have to start all over again. And that's what AI, the experience with AI has been until recently when memory was brought in. In fact, it's still not yet there. The goal of most of these companies building the models is to build that long-term memory. We don't know if it's going to be achieved in our lifetime or not, but the scale at which we are going right now, I won't be surprised if it happens. So give it long-term memory such that the AI remembers almost any conversation, any and every conversation you've had with it. So like humans, your friends would not necessarily remember exactly what you said, but at least if it becomes critical, they can recall some of the things. Okay, some of the things that you said. So Nicholas, for instance, is my colleague from high school, and in the past we've had a lot of conversations. Okay, so even though I might not remember the details of every conversation, but I can relate to Nicholas because we have been in that conversation mode before. So they want the AI to get to that level where it has understanding and memory of all of these things. And unlike humans, maybe the AI would get to a point where it doesn't even forget. I can't wait to see how that will look like. The AI doesn't forget. The AI has memory. All right. So that is one of the things that we need to be aware of. Another important thing, reasoning. Reasoning is your ability to think about things. And you see that now we have AI models that have reasoning capabilities. There are some that do not have reasoning. So depending on what you want to do, if you want to do complex things, which involves thinking through things and not just spewing out words, then you have to use the reasoning models, the models that will take time to think. So if I asked you, let me do this mathematics. Is everybody ready? Mathematicians in the house, are you ready? I want to see in the chat your answer. Let's see the fastest hand. What is 274 times 854? 274 times 854. even the 274 times 854. 274,854. What is the answer in the chat? Fastest hand. Who is the fastest hand? Yes, yes. Oh, if you went for competition, every one of you have lost already. How will you be competing with the AI? Yes, yes. Okay. No, that can't be the answer. 304 can't be the answer. No. It's multiplication. Oh. How can that be 3? Nobody has the answer. Interesting. Okay. That's what 234,196. Interesting. I actually don't know the answer, and I'm not doing that calculation, but I'm going to use it to illustrate something. So if I needed to do this calculation, I would have to think through it and do the mental calculation of it, and like, okay, if I multiply this by this, if I do this and that, yeah, eventually I get this, add this to that, and that gives me this. Okay, the answer is that. So that is reasoning. And that capability is what is being built into the reasoning model. So when you're using a model, and we've explained what a model is, the brain behind it, you have to understand, is this a reasoning model or not? So if you want something that is complex, then you have to use the reasoning models. Lastly, AGI, artificial general intelligence. This is the part about AI that people are scared of. Do I say people or say we are scared of? This is a part of artificial intelligence that people hear and they become scared. As to whether this is going to happen anytime soon, previously everybody believed that we are far away from it. Now there are beliefs that we are much closer to it than we think. But essentially, it is that point where the AI models begin to match human intelligence or even exceed human intelligence. So when the AI becomes just as smart as humans or even smarter than humans. And most people think that that is where AI takes over the world and begins to rule us as humans. Okay, so that is AGI. A lot of companies now are fighting towards getting to AGI first. AGI and AI. What we are in right now. Oh, see, even beyond the general intelligence, we're going to have super intelligence. And people are racing towards those. Okay, so I mean, we haven't scratched the surface yet, but in the next 10, 20, 50 years, which I believe most of us will still be alive, we are going to see some of these things play out. So the earlier we understood them, the better for all of us. All right. So why must we begin to master AI now? And what do we learn from history? I came across a saying some years back and have stuck with me. It says that what we learn from history is that people refuse to learn from history. Let me repeat that again. What we learn from history is that people refuse to learn from history. And I'm going to show you some examples right now. And it's playing right in front of us. So if you do not start taking action, what you're actually doing is you're not learning from history. So it's high time we learn from history and do what we must do. Okay. I have a lot of tests on this slides upward onwards. Okay. Pardon me, I'll try to explain a lot of them, but as I said, we are watering the ground for our subsequent sessions so that you have all the basics that you need to understand and appreciate everything that we do. And now, my duty right now for the next set of few minutes is to convince you to start learning and mastering these AI skills and tools. The internet era, which happened between the 1990s and the early 2000s, has a lot of things that we can compare to what is happening now. I am a student of the world. I like learning. I like learning a lot of these things. And one of the things that I've always been curious about is how people were prior to the internet era. Before the internet was a thing, how were people behaving? And when the internet was becoming a thing, what were people saying? And there are a lot of people who made millions and billions just from the internet. So my curiosity has been around how did these people take advantage of the internet era? And now we are in the AI era. See, when I started learning those things, I was always wishing how I wish I was part of this crew that grew up, around that time. Then now such a case is before us. Young people like us are here. We are seeing what is happening, but are we taking advantage of it? So in the past, there were skill sets that were optional. People didn't really care about it. But now they are essential. If you don't have them, people will not even look your way. It depends on the kind of work you want. If you want any skilled work, these skills have now become essential. But note that before the internet became a thing, nobody really cared about it. So for instance, people used to have the phones in the household, not the smartphones that we are holding now. Okay, the phones that you can dial and call somebody. So when email started becoming a thing, the internet allowed us to send emails. People didn't see why. Why will I write an email? Is it not boring? Like if I wanted to talk to somebody, if I want to pass a message, I have a phone, I can call the person. So why will I even bother going to write something? Now, if you work in fields like I do, every single day you write emails. Every single day you receive emails. Even those of you, when you registered for this event, you received emails. So it's like now the skill of one having an email, understanding emails and being able to write emails is no longer optional. Web browsing. Those times people used to get their information from magazines, encyclopedias, and the rest. So when the internet came up and said, "Oh, you can find information on the internet," why will I even bother? Like, I already have books. I know how to search these books. I can buy the newspapers and read the news every single day. Why will I even bother about this? But now, majority of people read news from the internet. A lot of other examples. Let me not even spend time on it. What happened to people who waited? So there are some people who were skeptical about it, and just as some people are skeptical about artificial intelligence right now and not taking action, they waited. What happened to them? Most of these people lost opportunities. to those who took advantage of it. And we still have people who still do not even have any sort of digital skills. Now, artificial intelligence is here. What are we learning from history? People now struggle with basic tasks. Like, I want to deposit a check in the bank, and this place where I stay to my bank branch is very far. And I learned that I can use my phone to deposit a check. How cool is that? But imagine if you have no experience with these things, you don't know anything about these digital things. You have to find time out of your busy schedule and go to the bank yourself, go and join a queue before you get what you want. Imagine all of that. It will cost you money to move from where you are to where the bank is, and when coming back as well. But also, you're spending time. As against, I take my phone and I'm able to deposit the check. Several other things. Let's continue. So there are a lot of things that we can compare to this era that we are in. So in this era now, there are a lot of skills that are also optional. Whether you know them or you don't know them today, it doesn't really matter. But tomorrow, it will become essential. And the people who learn or master these skills would be the ones who will lead, who would make the most impact, who will make the most money. That is our reality. So we need to begin to pick these things up. So right now, yeah, having AI is just one of those things. Prompt writing, we've talked about prompt engineering. Okay. If you are there and saying, oh, why will I learn prompts? Instead of going to talk to a chatbot, I can talk to my friends. Like, why will I even go and ask a chatbot? I know Obed. Obed understands these things. If I needed anything, I'll just talk to him. He will explain it to me. That's what people are saying right now. AI tool navigation. These AI tools, me, I don't even see what's there. Like, what are they? They are not even necessary. It's just saying that these guys, when they eat and they are satisfied, they go there and be playing with it. AI assisted research. I know how to Google things. Some people even say, "Oh, it's a cheat. Why will I even use AI to do research? Like, I have to go to Google. Like, I need to go to Google and search. I need to go to PubMed and search. Put in all the keywords. Do all the search. Spend 5 hours on it. Then I'll know that I've done research." That's what we are thinking right now. AI content creation. I can write and or design myself. The people who are they are just cheating. They are not even writing the thing themselves. They are using AI. That's what we are saying right now. But in future, anyway, let's continue. Using AI to solve problems. I've always figured out how to solve these things. Why will I even need an AI? I don't even need AI. Like, if I don't understand, I know how to do these things. I know how to figure it out. It's not AI that I'm going to use to help you. AI workflow integration, like right now, I do everything. Like, I work, I don't even use these things, but I'm fine. I get things done. My boss is even pleased with me. Why do I even bother? Okay. That is today. All of these things are going to reverse tomorrow. And when I say tomorrow, it's not necessarily just tomorrow. It's not literally tomorrow. But the time is coming soon enough where these things are going to become essential. This skepticism that we have around AI right now is not new. Remember, I said what we learn from history is that people refuse to learn from history. These things have happened in the past. You remember when I asked the question, Irene got the answer. I don't know whether it is correct or right. I'm not marking it. But I want to believe that there was not a single one of you who said, when Obed asked 274 times 854, whatever I asked, I don't even remember. None of you said, oh, where's my sheet of paper? Where's my pen? Let me start calculation. This one, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times this is that. This times that is that. Plus this. As soon as I said it, everybody was looking for a calculator. Even though I'm not there with you right now, but I know that's exactly what every one of you did because that is accepted as a norm right now. But imagine the time prior to calculators, when the calculators were now coming up. People will say, oh, you lose your mental faculty. Your ability to calculate, you will forget it. You wouldn't even remember these things. So, no, no, don't use it. You lose, like, an example, I lose my creativity. Now, when we go anywhere, we use Google Map. Those times, you need to learn how to use the compass. Even before compass came, you need to learn how to read the sun, the direction of the sun. If Kennedy is still here, Kennedy is very good at those things. He can read the direction of the sun and say, okay, let's go in this direction. You know? So people say, oh, no, 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 you lose that ability. But now, does it really even matter? Does it matter if I can read a compass or not? Okay. Oh, I'll become dependent on it. Yeah. You don't worry, you don't say you are dependent on search engines when every single thing they ask you, you go to Google. That one, you are not complaining about it because it's not artificial intelligence to you. If I don't know, I can Google it. Every single thing you are Googling, that one is not dependence. You are worried that something like ChatGPT, you are going to be dependent. What is the difference? Okay. It's not authentic. Oh, I mean, it's AI. It's not me. It's not me. It's AI that generated this. Just like when typing became a thing, like use a computer to type. Oh, no, 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 no. Me, I want my handwriting. They should see that's me. I was the one who wrote this one. They have to see that I wrote this. See my handwriting. Yes, that's authentic. If you use computer, everybody writes the same thing. There is no uniqueness in the writing. We are all like the same people. No, 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 no. I have to be authentic. I have to be unique. That's what people used to say. So now, using AI is also feeling like that. So if you understand what I'm saying, you realize that all these things that we are hearing and hearing and hearing, and all some of us are even spewing it out every single day, they are not news. These are things that were said before. But unfortunately, what we learn from history is that people refuse to learn from history. If you are in this class today, I hope that you are beginning to learn from history. It's not authentic. I'll lose my problem solving skills. Yeah, you lose it. You know how now nobody frowns on spell check and autocomplete. We are all happily using spell check and autocomplete. But still, people are thinking, oh, no, no, where my creativity will go. I want to be able to spell. I should remember how to spell. Okay. When the world changes, still there and don't change. Reality check. Calculators do not necessarily take our ability to do calculations away. Rather, they free up time for us so that we can now think about bigger problems. Instead of spending my time trying to divide 274 by 84, I'd punch it in the calculator and get time back. As humans, that's one of the ultimate goals. Anything that we do that will save us time, that's what we want. We don't want hard things. This your brain is not wired to do hard things. GPS. Now I can go anywhere, irrespective of whether I've been there before or I've not been there before, just because I hold a Google map. And my Google phone will show me live view. I can go anywhere. Okay? Search engines. Instead of going to encyclopedia, now we go to Google and ask Google. And we feel comfortable because it gives us a lot of knowledge. We get to see a lot of things. Is it any different from what the future is for these AI tools? So it frees up time for us and now makes us spend time doing the things that we really want or dig deeper into things. Then spell check, typing, all of these. The truth about AI tools, they don't replace creativity, they amplify it. Now with these AI tools, you can do 10 times what you currently do without them. You can solve more complex problems. So instead of sitting aloof and saying that, oh no, I want authenticity. Oh no, this is not myself. It is not authentic. I'm losing my creativity. How do you augment your creativity with these tools? That's what you need to do. I hope it is sinking well for everyone on the call. The AIs do not necessarily solve the problems for you. They rather help you solve bigger problems. So I said humans, one of the things we optimize for is more time. If I can get time to do the things that I want, that's what I want. With the power of these AI tools, you can even do more. See, the Google search that you're going to spend 20 minutes to do, the AI can do that Google search in less than a minute and summarize everything. You would have gone and clicked every single site and go through it and now write that essay that you need to do. Now you can make the AI go and do that work. They're clicking around. It doesn't teach you anything. It's just spending time. The AI can do that work, read from there, summarize it, and you would oversee it and say, no, I don't like this way. Let's change this to that. You use the AI to augment your things or the things you do and help you now think about bigger things. Oh, they will make you lazy. The AI makes you lazy. It's doing everything for you. I just sitting there and doing nothing. Okay. I've told you that humans, what we want is free up time. Everything that you are doing is to buy yourself that time. If you don't understand, go and sit and muse over it. Everything you are doing is to buy you time. Okay? And there is a story, maybe I'll share it some other time because we are running out of time right now. And they won't necessarily replace your skills. They're going to enhance your skills. So let's keep going quickly. The pattern is repeating itself, but unfortunately, this time is way faster. In the internet era, we had between the 90s to like 2002 thereabouts, before people started catching on and say, oh, okay, so the internet is here to stay. People thought that the internet was just a facade and it would vanish in a short while. In fact, you can't you me, I'm not surprised because I've heard it, but you might be surprised that people right now think that, oh, artificial intelligence is just a thing for today. And we wake up one day and it's no longer, it's gone. And that's what people used to think back then. Okay. But it took a while for people to adjust. Now, between just 2022 ending till now, the advancement in artificial intelligence, you can't even imagine. So we can't waste time. That's why this session is very important around this time. Some people are being promoted and making 10x more. I mean, there are people who are doing artificial intelligence or using these tools that is making them way more money than they could have ever anticipated. What are you waiting for? Those times, and being an African child, one of the things that I used to cry about is that those times when technology advancement was happening, some of us would not even get the opportunity to hear about it. The time that you hear about it, so let's say when was something like WhatsApp? When was WhatsApp established? Or let's even use Facebook. Facebook was established in early 2000, I think 2003, 2004, either 2002, 2003, or 2003, 2004. That was when Facebook was founded. My first Facebook account that I created, I remember very well, was in 2010. So more than 6 years after Facebook had been created, the first time I heard about it was 6 years later. And Nicholas is on the call. We attended the same high school. So it was even in high school. If I had not gotten the opportunity to go to that kind of high school, I probably would still not even know about it. We had ICT, and when we go to ICT, you see the people who are from the urban areas doing stuff. So we learn from them. And that's when I got to know about Facebook. So I also created an account. I remember I even called my elder brother to create an email account for me. That was the time that I got to know, oh, to create a Facebook account, you need an email account. But I don't have an email account. What is email? So I had to call my elder brother to create an email account for me. So that email account till now, I remember it was a Yahoo account, something something 2010 at yahoo.com. Because it was in 2010. That's why I remember it. But imagine Yahoo was a thing more than 10 years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't know about it. And even if I knew about it, what was I going to use it for? So the times have changed where right now I get the opportunity to hear about things that are released the very day. And in the same way, I would say it's similar to you because most of these things that we are learning right now are new. They are pretty new. So you are getting the opportunity to get on early, take advantage of it before it is too late. Then my Ghanaian folks, in Calibor's voice, you would say, Medin Kwasiasem. Let's not wait to get there. Okay. So those who wait will one compete against AI enhanced workers. I say that in 10 years' time, when you see job descriptions, it is going to be a requirement. You need experience, just like right now. When you see job descriptions, they usually have requirements that requires you to have experience with, say, Google Workspace. Do you know how to use Google Sheet or Word document, Excel? These things. Now, those are the important things that people expect you to have to get a job. In 10 years' time, they are going to be asking these AI tools. We are looking for somebody with 10 years experience using ChatGPT in 10 years' time. Is it that time that you now begin to, let me start learning because now it's important. I need to learn. Me, I said, when we get there and they said, we need somebody who has, even if it is as old as a tool, you'll find my name in there. So somebody who has 15 years experience with ChatGPT, I am here. I am here. Call me. Call my name. I am here. This is the opportunity we have. Let's take advantage of it. Don't miss that window of opportunity and watch others advance past you. The digital divide is going to increase. Now, a lot of us talk about the digital divide where, oh, what about people who are not digitally savvy? Oh, our parents and our grandparents, they don't know these things. So very soon, we are getting to that point. The interesting thing is that artificial intelligence is even making it easier, like life easier. People can, now you don't need to be able to write to talk to an AI. Like you can use an AI. So maybe we get to that level where everybody the digital divide as it is right now will not look as what we are talking about. So it wouldn't be just your ability to communicate, but how do you get the best out of it? So now is the time. 2025 is important because now the AI tools are still new enough for you to learn alongside everyone else. In 30 years' time, when everyone else is saying that, oh, I have 30 years of experience in this thing, you can also beat your chest and say, I also have 30 years experience in this. And you are going to be able to compete with every one of them. Your competition as it stands now, they still haven't mastered the skills yet. They are struggling. Everybody, every one of us is new. Nobody knows this thing. Even the people who are developing the tool, they don't know it. They are learning it. In fact, as a developer myself, what I have come to understand is that your users usually even know how to use your tool more than yourself. Because usually when you are building a tool, you use it for only the purpose for which you've designed it for. You know that this is used for this, so I use it for that. Your user doesn't know that. They'll try every other thing and they know what works, what doesn't work. So they know it more. So the truth is that even the people who are building the tools do not have the level of experience in usage of it. And you can compete with all of those people. A word to a wise. It's in the north, he said. Okay. Employers are starting to value AI proficiency, so you need to master them. I've said that already. Your CV in a couple of years, every job description will have, we need you to have this proficiency level with artificial intelligence or this specific tools. And now is the time to learn to gather that. The learning resources are still accessible and affordable. Yes, they are in abundance. Sessions like this are being done for free. You can still be an early adopter in whichever field you are in. That's even the most interesting part. Like whatever field you are in right now, most people have not tried leveraging artificial intelligence in there. And you can be one of them. Like, for instance, being the pharmacist with AI, the power of AI in my hand as a pharmacist, you know. And I believe strongly that the role of everyone, almost every field, is going to change drastically in the next couple of years just because of artificial intelligence. You want to be on top of it. In 10 years' time, in 20 years' time, when they talk about the best people in your field of work or industry, you should be one of them. And the reason you are one of them is because you were an early adopter of these technologies and you leverage them. What happens if you wait until 2027? Mm. You see, 2027 is not far away, oh, just 2 years from now. Oh, I can wait. Now I'm in school. Let me finish. When I finish school, oh, now I'm doing this thing. Let me finish this one next year or next 2 years. I'll try this AI thing. They are saying, you wait. When I'm done with school, I'll spend my time. I'll take all the time in the world to learn this AI. Then I'll become. Please stop lying to yourself. If you don't start right now in 2027, what's going to happen is that AI skills become essential requirements in almost anything. You're looking for a job after school, they need you to have some years of experience with AI or proficiency level with AI. How do you defend that? Because you said when you were in school, you said, oh, now let me focus on my academics when I'm done, or whatever reason that you gave yourself. You will then be learning to catch up while others have already advanced. You know, how when you go to work, we have seniors and we have juniors. Mm? So if you want to be among the seniors, you have to start right now. The job market will definitely favor AI proficient candidates. You don't want to be competing with people who have skill sets that you don't have. You want to start setting yourself apart. And the free learning period will be over. Now people are really struggling to see what they can monetize and what they cannot monetize. So we get a lot of content for free. We get a lot access for free. Even the tools that are coming, most of them have free tiers that are very generous because they want people to use it. It's like we want you to help us gather enough data about our product. We don't know how the market goes. In 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, when they figure out that you are dependent on it and you cannot do anything about it, they'll begin to increase the cost. Is that the time that you want to wait to start learning? Ask yourself that question. Now that it is free, take advantage of it. You'll be the person asking, how do I do this? Why everyone else just knows how to do it? Don't be that person, not at all. So let me quickly run through this and we wrap up for today. I hope you have gotten good. I mean, I have a few more slides, but I hope you are getting a good solid foundation so that when we come back, you have reason enough to learn about these tools. And even beyond this series, spend time to learn these things. So the skills I need you to develop if you don't already have them. One, writing effective prompts. Along the line, I'll share one course that I personally took with all of you so that those of you who are interested can learn that when it comes to writing effective prompts. Choosing the right AI tool for each task. There are a lot of tools out there. How do I know which one is right for what I'm doing? And I'll share something about this shortly. Verifying and improving AI outputs, integrating AI into your workflow. I essentially use AI now in almost every single thing that I do. Almost every single thing. So you should be able to integrate that as well. Understanding the limitations of AI. The models are getting better by the day. If you are on top of it, you should understand what the limitations are today so that you don't dwell on that and not make any use of it. Okay, I know what the limitations are, but let's focus on its strength. Then staying updated with the new tools as they come. Okay, so you don't need a tech background to master these things. The four steps that I'm giving for absolute beginners. One, start with conversation. There are some of these models that are just conversation. It's just like talking to your buddy, like your friend. You go to WhatsApp and you chat up your friend, have conversation. Start from, I don't understand a particular thing. What don't you understand? Just go to the artificial intelligence and start from there. Chat, conversation. We would learn how to improve. But I need everyone who is following the series to have experience with this sort of thing. So, simple example, right? Write me a professional email. Then iterate on it, change the things, just have build some familiarity with it so that when we get deep into the other aspects, you will appreciate it. Then learn basic prompting. So now be specific in your request. Sometimes you just want to play around it and understand what's the difference. When I said write, help me write a professional email versus when I told you exactly the details or added some more context, how different was it? Then ask for examples, iterate and refine. The next step is explore different use cases. So some people like I've had friends who talk to me about this AI thing. I've heard about it, but I don't even know what I can use it for. It's only the chat. That the chat is nothing. Like I apart from that one, I don't know what else I can use it for. Begin to explore things like in your life. Do you do content creation? Have you ever created any sort of content before? If you have, can you try using an AI to do something similar and compare and get better at it? If you do research, can you try and use AI to do research or help you research? Problem solving. Are you thinking about any problem right now? Like in your life, you are thinking about a problem, right? I have friends who call me all the time when they have problems to discuss things. Can you begin to start using these AI tools as sort of your body that helps you brainstorm, that helps you solve problems? Okay, learn that. Learning new topics. So if you don't know what to do with AI, use it to learn. What new things do you want to learn? You want to learn artificial intelligence, start using it. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, I wrote something on LinkedIn about how I started learning to build uh, a recommendation engine, an artificial intelligence recommendation engine. I'm not an AI engineer, but I needed something that is built by AI engineers. What did I do? Went to one of the LLMs to begin to ask questions. So how do they build this? What is this? What is that? What do I need to understand? So that is how you can leverage it to learn new skills as well. And build projects. In week 4, the last week, we're going to learn how to build projects with AI and integrate into your workflow. So if you identify anything that is repetitive in your own work right now, begin to find out, can I use AI to automate this? Can I use AI to do this? Then we're going to learn about some of the tools that we can use to do that. Okay. Start simple, don't overwhelm yourself. Practice daily, stay curious, share and learn, then focus on value. That means that solve real problems. All right. The future of AI, I've talked a lot about this, but AI agents very, very important. And I've mentioned that along the various sessions, we're going to learn about some tools that you can use to generate agents. You don't have to be a programmer to do this. Like you don't have to be techie at all. If you need an agent to do things for you, we're going to learn how you can generate some of these. So in the next 1 to 2 years, these things become very more important. But more importantly, most of these companies are aiming to embed AI in everything. So you have to be ready for it, like everything. Be ready for it. We don't know how fast it will come, but we have to be ready for it. 3 to 5 years, maybe even sooner than that. But there are predictions that we might get to AGI in less than 5 years. We don't know what really that is, but hey, a host of things will come. Autonomous AI workers. In fact, there is a new tool that was announced 2 days ago. It's still in beta state. I mean, beta testing. Like people are just testing it out right now. I've already signed up for the beta, and you can't imagine what the tool does. The agent autonomous AI workers, that is real. It's not the type that you see in chatbots where you go and chat. But we'll learn about more about this. So I feel that they are even more closer than we feel. This means that there's now an opportunity window. We need to evolve our skills, and there's going to be definitely new careers. See, the kind of work that some of us do right now, if you told our grandparents that there's going to be work like that, and they will laugh at you. And I always say to my friends that the kind of work right now that we do, they are the type of work where if your grandmother asks you, you can't even explain to her what you do. So in the near future, there are going to be new careers. Like people are wondering, this. Like, there are going to be new careers that you and I see. Right now, they are hiring people for prompt engineering. So we have people called prompt engineers. This didn't used to exist prior to 2022. Now there are new careers like that, and they are making good sums of money. So instead of you thinking, oh, as for me, I'm a pharmacist. As for me, I am just a nurse. Or as for me, it's just this thing that I know. Or I went to school for this. That's the part that people like the most. As for me, I hold a degree in this one. That's what you know. What if that degree, I mean, that degree shouldn't stop you. I remember back in first year in pharmacy school, I used to preach this message that add value to your degree. The degree alone is not what's, I mean, the fact that you're a pharmacist, like to me as an individual, the fact that you're a pharmacist doesn't stop you from doing any other thing. It doesn't mean you cannot become any other thing or any other skill, right? And I've always held that belief, and that's how come I explore these things. So instead of telling yourself that, as for me, this is what I am, no, you are a human being. You learn things, you adapt. Survival of the fittest. That's why we are still here. So it's time for us to take advantage of this by learning. All right. Just as I said, not talk much about the tools. I'm mentioning a few tools here. Then next week we'll go more into relevant tools, into the various like fields and how you use them. Probably do some demonstrations next Saturday. But some of the tools, large language models, we've explained what large language models are. Here are some of them. Some of them you might have heard. If you've not heard as well, I mean, if you came with your notebook, write them down and try them. Your assignment for this week before we meet next week is to try these things. ChatGPT, the popular one that you know about. Claude.ai is one of my favorite ones. It's one of my favorite ones. So note that as well. Gemini. Nowadays, I have started also loving Gemini for several things, and I'll explain how I use each of them, especially the first three that I have. Gwen is also one of the competitions out there. Oh, I even forgot to add Grok. So there's Grok. Recently, they released Grok 4, I think a couple of days back. So Grok is also there. You need to check it out. DeepSeek, Licha, Meta AI. See, yes, all these things are likely doing the same thing, okay? But each of them has what they are good at. So the goal is for you to really start playing with these. These are just toys that you should be playing with. Then figure out, oh, when I need this, like the top three that I have there, personally, I know what to use depending on my use case. If I need something like this, I'll go to this one. So I'm using all of them. Don't say that, oh, as for me, it's ChatGPT that I use. It is a toy. If you were a child and I bought you a new toy, you would play with a new one. You won't say that because this is my original toy, I won't play with this one. So please go and play with these other ones. Okay. The next set of tools as well. Very important tools. So I decided to mention them here so that at least you are in the know. We'll learn how to use some of them. Notebook LLM. Notebook LM. It's a very interesting tool that we'll delve more into soon. Manus. Manus is also a very powerful one. I was fortunate to join their beta testing. Like I signed up for their beta testing. So even before they released it to everybody, I was fortunate to test it out. And very, very powerful tool. Gamma. Gamma is also very impressive for creating I mean presentations. Whatever presentations you want, you can use that. Then now there are a lot of tools for building web apps. Like you want to build a website, you want to build an application. These tools, VO, Lovable, Replit, Chef, oh, Bolt. I didn't add Bolt. Why? It's one of my favorites. Bolt, UA, these are all tools that I've tried and I love every one of them. So I'm just mentioning these for now and you get to use it. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat right now in the next few minutes as we wrap up. If you have any questions. My announcement for you, let me remove my yeah, if you have any questions at all. My announcement for you is that next week we are having next Saturday, that will be the session where we just delve into tools and use the tools. I'll show you how I use these tools, what they are for, and all. No, let me show you one more thing. Yeah. Before I forget that, let me show you this. The tools are a lot. So how do you keep? If you have any questions, please drop the questions in there. I'll respond to them shortly. But yeah, let me show you Tulu.me. So one of the things that I discovered personally is that I have a lot of friends who reach out to me asking for recommendations for tools and the likes. And it's difficult to remember all the tools and what they are used for and all. So I decided that I need to create a collection of my tools so that if friends ask, I know where to find them. So I built this platform called Tulo.me. Go ahead, create an account and start collecting your own tools. It's very easy. If you create an account, you can see some tools have been added here already by users. I think initially it was somewhere else. I moved it and unfortunately I didn't get all the data. But you can explore some of the tools that have already been added. However, when you create a new account, you can also add a new tool that you want to remember. So if you come across any tool that you want to keep for yourself, this is your personal collection of tools. So if you find any one of these tools that you don't want to forget, create your account on Tulo and add your tools so that anytime you are looking for a tool, the number of times that we have to do this, you forget your tool and you are looking for a tool, you know exactly how to get it. Okay, so that would be my recommendation because just as I started, I've mentioned a couple of tools there. Go and create your account and list out all those tools that you need to be using so that anytime you want it, you go there. I would also be sharing a lot more tools. And when you discover new ones, this would be a good place to save them. Okay. Any questions? Says, please, are you going to share the PowerPoint? I have to think about it. Do I have to share it? uh, anyway, I'll make a plan. I think I have the emails of everyone who registered, so I can shoot the emails to you all. Kindly show the last slide again. This is the last slide. So I have a short announcement as well. The last session, the first three sessions, which is today and the next two Saturdays in July, we're going to have the sessions here, right here on YouTube, as we're having right now. But the very last one, which is I think 26, is going to be a 3-hour session that is focused on building businesses with AI. That's where I'm going to show you all the experience that I've gotten so far with it and answer all your questions. It will be on a Zoom so that you can ask questions. And in fact, I don't want a lot of people on that one. when I started thinking about it, I wanted less than 10 people. Had discussions with my team members, and we reached a consensus to keep it up to 25 people because I want to be able to impact directly to the people. So we have only 25 seats for that 3 hour session, which will happen on the 26th. It's going to be a premium session, it's not a free session. And that's where I would break everything down, show practically how to do these things, and also share my ebook where I've documented my workflow for building products with AI. And these are feasible even if you have no technical background. So, another thing that we thought about, we want to help as many people as possible. So, the fee is there, but we're going to give early bird discounts 50% off. And I'll send the details to your email soon. And hopefully during the session, I'll talk about it and what the early bird discount is. But someone is asking, do you have a WhatsApp group? Oh goodness. Yes, there is a WhatsApp group. I don't even know if I want to push the group. It's difficult to manage the group, so I haven't really been very active. But there are several digital school WhatsApp groups that I have. So for now, Mohammed, if you're on the email list, that would be great. If you are not on the email list, kindly join, like sign up for the event if only it's available. If it's not available, keep the link. I would open it up for registration soon. So you can join there and I'll send everything via email. So I'm trying to type in here ohaniaobed.com/digital school. So for now, just make sure that, oh, what's happening? Make sure that you're on the email list. Then I'll communicate everything through email. Uh, the amount involved, no worries. Like the email will come. They're trying to finalize everything. So the email will come with all those details. So just make sure that you're on the email list. And that's why I'm also giving enough time. We'll get there. In the course of the week, I'll communicate that. Those who are in the various WhatsApp groups as well, you would see it. Okay. So any final questions before we wrap up? Final questions. Do you have any final questions? Those of you who want you, if you didn't register for the event, it means you're not on the email list for the July edition of Digital School. So kindly use the link. I don't know if it is still active. That's what I am not sure about. Whether you can still register or not. Let's see. Near Obe Digital School. Yeah, it's still active, I guess. Yep. So you should be able to still register. So kindly register for it. And once you register, you join that email list, and I would be able to respond to, I'll send you guys all the emails. And the other website I talked about is tulo.me. So go there, create your account, and start collecting your tools so that you don't forget the tools that you use. Tulo.me. All right. So on that note, I think this is a great time to end. Next week, we are doing a deep dive into the tools. We're going to discuss various tools that you can use, like various artificial intelligence tools, how to use them, what they are used for. When you are coming next week, make sure you come with your notebook. Write down as many things as you can write. When you are done, you can move all of that to your Tulo collection and be able to start trying them one after the other. In the course of the week, I'll try and communicate with all of you who are on the email list. Do you want to invite your peers, your friends, anyone that you want to help? You know that they need this, just share the link with them so that they can also benefit from this training. Thank you all so much for spending this 2 hours, almost 2 hours with me, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Until then, bye bye. Bye bye. You're welcome. Bye.